seen this one. Super stoked. 205 division has been my weight division, and so I'm super excited about this fight.
So looking at the numbers there, the odds are with Arslan, but 182 centimeters plays 190 centimeters in height. So as we said, Chuzhagayev, slightly small for this weight division, but he is an absolute beast. That said, so is even Arslan. Thomas Bronder, our referee for this. I have to say, how do we think this is going to go, guys?
Not 5 rounds.
Say again?
Not 5 rounds.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, that's the answer. So for the light heavyweight championship belt, KSW light heavyweight title, 5 5-minute rounds under KSW MMA rules. Buckle up, funsters, because as we say, we don't think this is going to go the way. Just look at the undercarriage of Ivan Arslan, those thighs. And I mean, Chuzhagayev is a solid, solid character, but just look at the thighs on Arslan. I mean, they sort of out of complete balance with the rest of his body. But anyway, settle down, because in the golden gloves, fighting red, Ibrahim Chuzhagayev, and fighting blue, Ivan Arslan. And very respectful, both players here.
Both guys good strikers, very different strikers. You see a much more orthodox boxing attack from Arslan, and Chuzhagayev just has that Soviet-style boxing, totally different footwork and the head movement. Very interesting to see if somebody finds advantages early or whether this thing becomes a firefight into the later rounds.
He does this thing where he drops the guard every third movement. He bounces, drops the guard, bounces, drops the guard. It's almost peekaboo, but what it does is it doesn't give the opponent time to lock in on the target, and it's great footwork. Just look at him, he's enjoying himself here, Chuzhagayev. Look at the footwork, up on his toes, it's like he's skipping. Great, great boxing skills.
And that's the thing, Arslan said there's openings here. We worked on this. He's been part of a number of big fight camps recently. In other promotions, Ante Dalia, Alexander Rakic. So they've worked extensively on, they think, holes in Chuzhagayev's game.
Well, I said at the beginning that Ivan Arslan has displayed a sort of one-dimensional approach to this. You know, he doesn't need anything else, really. The power, the speed, the aggressiveness is there. But to outbox Chuzhagayev, I think is going to be a task here tonight. He's definitely got the confidence and he's got great skills. And again, he looks like the man least likely to. I mean, you look at Chuzhagayev and he looks like a bloke, you know, in a bar. And then you look at Ivan Arslan and he looks like an assassin, you know, but Chuzhagayev completely took apart Tomasz Narkun, and that surprised me. I mean, I'm a big Narkun fan, but Chuzhagayev beat him, and there's the surprise. There's the knock on the front door, but the delivery through the back door.
Yeah, it'll be one of the tools.
Right.
Exactly, it'll be one of the tools he uses to take away the jab. The overhand right, and potentially the low kick. There we go again.
Well, look at this. He's hitting the target, and life is becoming uncomfortable for Ivan Arslan.
A lot of patience here, much more patience compared to the Narkun fight from Chuzhagayev. But I think that's the kind of respect.
And a lot more patience from Arslan as well, right? Hasn't thrown with his right hand once yet. It's all been just jabs down the middle.
And he looks like he can do this all day long. I mean, we could be here till Christmas Day, couldn't we? I mean, Chuzhagayev, he's just bouncing around, moving, and it's like he's skipping in the gym. And Arslan hasn't just managed to get those crosshairs to lock on, and you can see he wants to unload. Ivan Arslan wants to bring some heat and power to the shots, but he can't because look at the movement. It's just unbelievable. Chuzhagayev is just not standing stationary for a millisecond.
But the thing is, with these guys and their strengths and the kind of power at this weight class in a world championship fight, sometimes it's a game of poker in the first round or so.
Nice move from Chuzhagayev, left, right, low kick, switches it up. I think he's got the fight intelligence to make this a very, very difficult night for Arslan. And I mean, you know, Chuzhagayev against Narkun went the distance, but he took him apart in a way that I've never seen Narkun. The only time I saw Narkun really that badly in trouble was when he when he went up the weight and went against the heavyweight champ, you know. Arslan starting to get that jab to work, and Arslan backing off here in a way I've never seen the Croatian do.
It's hard to pick up the timing of someone who's bouncing so much. It's kind of all over the place, right? So he's just taking his time. He's being patient. He's waiting for that. He's waiting for that timing that he's going to find. He's just counting the steps. He's trying to figure out the hand positioning, and he's going to find it. He's going to unload.
Yeah, it's like a sort of a rhythm that can't be counted, isn't it? It's like a boom, 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 boom. It's just, you can't work out what Choozigaev's going to do. Oh, look at that! Comes in behind that double knee strike and throws the big right overhand right against a taller opponent. I mean, you know, that's dessert, isn't it? All day long. Well, there's the end of the first round. 10-second clapper. Choozigaev. 5 rounds he's going to need to be doing this, because if he stops for 1 second, Ivan Erslan is going to nail him.
Second round.
2 of a scheduled championship 5 rounds in this, one of our co-main events here tonight. And that is the light heavyweight championship strap on the line, being defended by current champion Ibrahim Choozigaev. Now, in the second round, are we going to see Ivan Erslan start to step up here and bring some pressure?
We already have.
Yep.
His first 10 seconds were fireworks.
Can it be sustained?
The problem was he overextended on that right hand and nearly ate a big one from Choozigaev.
Exactly. So, you know, that's always a dissuader for bringing the heat. But trying to close the ring down. And I have to say, Ivan Erslan has got a tight guard. I mean, it's as tight as 2 coats of paint. And then rocked by that left hand. Choozigaev can hit. Left-right combination. Starting to land. Spinning back fist. Slipsy, tricksy. And I have to say, Choozigaev is just a little bag of tricks. He's just ruthless in the creativity. Starts to put pressure. He's hurt Ivan Erslan. Erslan doesn't have an answer for this.
Absolutely, and even the 3-2 he threw before that, he kind of pulled, right? He's closing distance, and then the third or fourth punch is a really powerful one.
It's that awkwardness from Choozigaev. It's completely messing him up. See, there's little things. Oh, there it is.
Oh, well, look at that. He went down low with that little slap to the leg to make out he was going for a shoot, but he's bringing pressure now. Ivan Erslan under incredible pressure. Lands a big shot. I don't know if he's recovered from that.
That left hook definitely connected. You could hear Erslan just bite down his mouthpiece and grunt there to try to stay in this fight, but this is problematic.
Look at this, goes for the takedown. Already so low. I mean, he had no chance of getting that. No, the leverage wasn't there. But Choozigaev, it's just an absolutely insane onslaught of everything, isn't it?
It was smart. It was smart to go to the takedown. Choozigaev does have good wrestling, but so too does Ivan Erslan. I mean, you have to think of the guys he's training with. We don't see it necessarily in a lot of his fights because he chooses to box. I'd love to see these guys wrestle. Jeez, some heavy leather there from Choozigaev.
Yeah, you don't want to be behind that. Listen. Well, the devil came down to Glavice. He was looking for a soul to steal. And I have to say, that is Choozigaev in one, isn't it? I mean, it's like wrestling Satan in there. He's just a bad man.
You're almost in kind of disbelief, if you will, of the type of power you can create with those whipping punches, but it's a totally different style of boxing compared to Erslan.
Yeah. And Erslan is a good classic kickboxing boxer. And I mean, it's not that Ivan Erslan is doing anything wrong. It's just Choozigaev is a will-o'-the-wisp. And, you know, dangerous.
It's that Dominic Cruz kind of style of movement, you know, where you're kind of all over the place, different angles, and it's so hard for an opponent to pick up. And with his hands all over the place too, right? He's not holding his hands down by his chin all the time. He's kind of all over the place. Those strikes are coming from different angles. So hard to pick up. If you never trained with anybody like that, it's going to be a really, really tough fight.
That shot whistled by. Oh, there's a big straight left, and Erslan goes down. Can he finish this Choozigaev on the ground? That was insane. A power piston of a punch there with the left hand. He did it before, you know, when he rocked Ivan Erslan. But Erslan just hasn't got the answer. He says he's all right. But now Choozigaev, this is where the dirty fighting comes. Big thundering knee strikes into the glute muscle, and he ragdolls Ivan Erslan down to the ground.
He dropped him with the jab. He popped him straight down the middle.
Speed kills.
Yep.
I mean, so fast. And,
Yep.
and he generates so much power because he's so loose. His shoulders and hips are just so loose, so it's coming from all over the place. Whereas with Arslan, you can see everything's really tight. You can see the shoulders. You can see all those muscles, and the shoulders are so tight and tense.
Well, it's back to the upright, but this is a rough ride for Ivan Arslan unless he comes up with a strategy. You know, he's got another 3 rounds of this. And Chuzygayev, as I say, he just looks like he's skipping in the gym. And I mean, you know, which way is he going? He's everywhere. It's a great, great show of dominance. And he navigated that well, I can tell you that now. Arslan can normally nail you with one of those. So ghosting, feinting, dropping the guard now. There's the confidence. He wants to draw Ivan Arslan in. He knows that he can hurt him. And this is very much coming to my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Go to 3, and you know, hopefully the corner have given Ivan Arslan a game plan to work to. Chuzygayev goes straight back to that tight boxing stance with the movement. And just look at it.
See that attentiveness from Arslan right there? You would have thrown a right hand before. Every single time you would have thrown a right hand, but he didn't throw it this time.
Yeah, the confidence, may have returned. Through a combination there. For the first time, he's let something go here that's been meaningful. But not enough to do anything that's going to upset Chuzygayev.
Sometimes when you go over to a different camp and you spend, you know, 6 to 8 weeks there, it's a short period of time, but they start changing things the way you used to fight, and it's not a good thing. It doesn't work out that way because you only had 6 to 8 weeks to prepare, and 6 to 8 weeks with that team, and now everything's kind of changed, so you're not sure what to do now.
Listen, this is a championship belt on the line here. Ivan Arslan needs to dig deep and come up with a strategy. And look at this now, he's come back a different person using the aggression. And Chuzygayev has still managed to weather the storm, but this is a different Arslan. And he's not switched up anything too much, but they're there to slug it out. Big right hand, he hits Chuzygayev. Chuzygayev now starting to feel the power of the Croatian. This is the Arslan that we know. Mouth guard out, referee intervenes. Straight back to the action, and Chuzygayev brings it.
He's beaten Arslan on a couple of exchanges here, but for about 20 seconds, Arslan was beating him to the punch. That was the difference. A lot more lead into the dance. And it's tricky because Chuzygayev breeds so much uncertainty with all of his movements. You just don't know when to commit. But really nice work from Arslan for about 15, 20 seconds there.
So day ain't over yet. What can Arslan bring to this? It's got to be aggression, and he's got to come forward. But he exposes himself when he does, and then how much of that can you do before you start running the tank down? You look at Chuzygayev, and he could do this all day.
But Arslan's winning this round so far.
So we're in the third of 5 in this championship matchup. And then now we're starting to see Chuzygayev settle down, a little less bobbing and weaving, and a little bit more serious boxing after the frustration. Good combination, left, right there, but Ivan Arslan has the crosshairs and the target of Chuzygayev just a little bit more to his advantage now.
It's a nice jab a moment ago from Chuzygayev, especially when Arslan comes forward very linearly. Again, straightforward for Arslan, and the jab lands 3 times in a row for Chuzygayev. That's good.
Real cat and mouse now. Arslan's recovered. And Arslan on his toes a bit more now, starting to use his footwork and starting to move and starting to cause problems for Chuzygayev.
That's the thing, though. Arslan's got to be, because Chuzygayev is such a rule breaker. He'll move into the power side, and he'll go weak side. He's always changing it up. The hands are down. You got to fight fire with fire sometimes.
Yeah, and they've settled down into a little bit of a slugfest here, but I don't know if Arslan has got the bandwidth in terms of creativity. I mean, Chuzagayev slaps his leg and then comes back up, and Arslan recoiled back because he thought there was a shoot coming. I mean, he's a trickster, Chuzagayev, a real trickster. Oh, spinning back fist, and that landed. How many times do you see that happen? Can he finish it off? Ivan Arslan has been hurt here. There's still under a minute left in this round. That was insane. Spinning back fist, and Arslan hasn't recovered. Can Chuzagayev finish this? This is a testimony to Ivan Arslan's survival capacity. He was really hurt.
He's been hurt 3 times in this fight, 3 different rounds. Chuzagayev, I think, is tired. Doesn't want to punch himself out, but he has a real opportunity to close the show here.
Absolutely. Picking the shots now, Chuzagayev, and focus about it. But Ivan Arslan comes back, and a thumping right hand sends Chuzagayev dancing back to the center of the ring. This is hell's a popping here. This is a real battle, and you can see why Thomas Narkun came under so much pressure. Chuzagayev seems indomitable, but Ivan Arslan, you know, like Mount Rushmore, he just took that hit on the chin. He's got a jaw of rock.
He's tired, though. Chuzagayev is so tired right now. Much better round for Arslan.
That chin of Arslan, my goodness, that backspinning fist would knock out any man. And then to take that and come back still and still be in and still launch after that. It's basically the 3rd time he's been hurt.
The gum shield drop a couple of times, a little bit of recovery time, but just look at Chuzagayev come back. I mean, he hits so hard, he bangs, and before you know it, problem sitting. But that spinning back fist that caused all the problems was just from nowhere. And look at that, Ivan Arslan thought he was going to chase Chuzagayev, but he walked straight onto that. We've gone to 4.
And then on the other side of this, you got to think about Chuzagayev. I've just been throwing everything I got, like, but the kitchen sink at this man, and he's still standing. You know what I mean? That's got to play with your mind as well. So
yeah,
exciting round 4 right here. Is going to be really see who's going to come out on top right here.
Yeah. And the frightening thing is, you look at Chuzagayev and he just looks like it's another day in the office. You know, he's a bit battle-worn, but not enough there to write home about. But the same for Ivan Arslan. Just the testimony to his ability to recover and come back. It's just incredible. And as I say, you know, you look at Chuzagayev and he just looks like a guy. And Ivan Arslan looks like an assassin. And yeah, it's incredible what this man has been able to produce here.
Yes, never judge a book by a book cover, right? It's amazing. Especially nowadays with MMA being so popular, you have no idea who you're going to walk into or place anytime.
Yeah, next time somebody spills your drink, just buy him another one. You know, because yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, just be kind to everyone. Simple.
Exactly.
Again, the mouthpiece is 3rd time Arslan spat that out.
I'm not sure that was a spit out. I think it was more like a...
No.
Just like a punch.
I know you mean, but it happened a couple of times in the previous round where it was like...
That was a slap out. Anyway, listen, back to business, and Ivan Arslan still one-dimensional, but Chuzagayev now starting to blow, starting to take shots, and this is where the rubber hits the road. The survival. Chuzagayev has thrown everything but the kitchen sink. Ivan Arslan has kept true to what he started out with in the 1st round. It's not paid dividends, but it might do now.
The thing is, Chuzagayev was in a similar position against Tomas Narkun, where Narkun was going to start to come back into the fight after 10-8 round or so, maybe even in the beginning of that fight. So I do have him up in this fight.
Well, I don't think Arslan has one more round yet. Getting close in that 3rd round, I wasn't forward that backspinning fist and that drop. He's got to do something here, something a little different. He's got to show a different side of him. Go back to the well where he used to be, or show him something a little different as far as maybe throw a kick, or because everything is headhunting. You're just headhunting the whole entire time. That's all you're doing.
I agree.
And headhunting is not going to win you this fight against someone who's this technical and this good. I'm moving his head and covering up, see?
See, the law of averages dictates that one of those punches has got to connect, but they're not. Chuzagayev is not there when Arslan throws.
And he rolls with the punches really well. He turns his head as he goes, so he takes 90% of that shot away. And then now he's back.
Top skills, top skills. Drops his guard, stalking his man, almost taunting even Arslan. Throws from the hip. He's a real trickster. And then look at that throw to the body there. And then, yeah, that hurt. And Erzlan dances out, but they're really connecting. He's got heavy hands, Chuzagayev, and I know that's a much used expression in boxing, but when he lands with short punches, they're solid.
And on top of that, look at the distance he covers when he bounces backwards. I mean, he almost like he covers like 2-3 meters of space. So, oh, there's another one.
Oh, no.
Hurt him again, hurt him again. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Erzlan now starting to take too much pressure, and Chuzagayev finds the target, landing the shots. Erzlan just may not recover from this, and Chuzagayev choosing the shots here, but look at that, a bit of a rope-a-dope. Ivan Erzlan comes off the wire, turns his man and throws. Chuzagayev needs to be careful he doesn't gas out, but he's just stalking him.
It's been an absolute slugfest here.
How is Erzlan still standing? My goodness, from all these shots. Like he can barely keep his hands up.
Chuzagayev is just relentless. I mean, he's like volcanic lava in the sense that he's relentless in coming forward, but he's like a ghost to hit. And he's hurting Erzlan every shot.
The crazy thing is, Chuzagayev's head movement, he's so certain of it, and he can move super, super far and come back to the center line so quickly. It's been one of the biggest differentiators, I think, in damage in this fight. Yes, Erzlan is connected, but there hasn't been meaningful, impactful connections, bar maybe in the last round.
Do you know what? They're up against the wire right in front of us here, and I can hear Chuzagayev's brain whirring. It's whirring like a clockwork machine. He is working. He's working the last shots of this round, and he is very focused and intent on this. Erzlan is wondering, and that's a different thought process. Yeah, this is not going to end well unless a rabbit from a hat is pulled for Ivan Erzlan. And even if it goes the distance, I've got Chuzagayev way ahead on points.
I agree, but you can see from what's happened that there was reason why we didn't think it'd go far.
Round 5, the 5th and final in this light heavyweight championship bout. The KSW light heavyweight strap on the line. Ibrahim Chuzagayev with the gold gloves and red finish takes on Ivan Erzlan in the blue, and it's been attritional the whole way, and it begs the question, how are these two men still slugging it out in the KSW cage here in front of 15,000 people in a sellout arena in Gliwice?
Now, you know, in the middle of that round, Erzlan's corner would have said to him, you need something drastically different. They cannot, for any good reason, think that the scorecards are in their favor at this point. Now, the question is, do we see kicks? Do we see the clinch? Something? Or is he just going to keep going for the home run for the next 4 odd minutes?
Well, the first 4 rounds kind of told us what's going to happen, but we'll see. Threw a nice uppercut there and landed it.
Yeah, it was
really,
a good, solid
nice
connection, yep. I mean, you know, he's got power, Erzlan. He's got resilience. He just can't land on Chuzagayev. But, you know, there is an expression, you can only go to the well so many times. All it takes is one mistake, and Chuzagayev could just eat a shot that could finish this. But he's too wily a customer. He really is a slippery, slippery deal. Just look at that.
Yeah, anyone with their hands down in the 5th round like that and still bobbing and weaving everything and basically making your opponent miss everything you throw, it's quite remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, this is top-level skills, and he makes it look so easy. He's starting to take shots now, but this might be just a little too late in the day for Ivan Erzlan, and he so desperately needs this championship belt, and he's hurt Chuzagayev with that left hook. That's the second time I've seen that connect. Chuzagayev dropping the guard, trying to coax Erzlan in. They both know that they're capable of hurting each other, but yeah, there's the kick for the first time. I mean, you know, it's as if he left half the armory at home.
And whoever thought that Erzlan would be, you know, in the 5th round, I haven't seen him this deep, and he still's got the power and still got the pop. It's just putting that timing together. Ah, there's another shot.
Starting to hurt Chuzagayev now. Is it too late in the day? He needs a finish, needs the rabbit out of the hat. 2.5 minutes left. Is there the clock there? just big power behind these shots.
But do you see how he rolls, how Chuzagayev rolls with those punches? Like, it looks like it's hitting him, but it's barely hitting him, you know? It's just those last 5, 10, 15% maybe of that punch actually made contact.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. His style is such a unique style, and it works for him so well.
Yeah. And of course, when you don't make contact, it sucks the power out of you with a miss, you know, and so the tank is draining all the time. Props to Ivan Erslan, because he's just come back and given everything and still could turn this around. 2 minutes left, 5th and final round.
Erslan is definitely really showing he took this fight very seriously. He has kept, I think, the conditioning that he had into this fight. Having hit the 5th round for the first time in his career, that was important. And that shows how much it means, because very rarely do you get to challenge for a world title more than twice.
For sure. And this is going to be a really, really tough one for him if things don't, you know, if he doesn't pull anything a rabbit out of his hat in the next 90 seconds. Just lose 2 times now for the title is just going to be really, really tough. Especially, you know, when you've taken the time to learn from the mistakes you've made and gone to a different camp and try to get better and progress and learn from the best. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy to come back from this.
This is a unique style Chuzagayev has brought to this, and Chuzagayev has been tested here. He's taken shots, but that head movement, that's just a will-o'-the-wisp at work there. He just taunts, and then, you know, Erslan is no slouch. He just cannot get the crosshairs on.
Chuzagayev, I think, has had so much more variation in kind of the line of attack. He's always resetting and adjusting and swapping stances and switching things up. Hands wide, hands in tight. It's a lot more unpredictable, and I think a more complicated puzzle, because both these guys have dug in and laid siege to each other on the feet for 25 minutes now.
Well, yeah, unpredictable is the word here. Just look at him walk. He jumps in the air, he skips, he jumps, he moves. It's just completely unpredictable. We've got 17 seconds, 16 seconds left. We're up on the 10-second clapper. I don't think Ivan Erslan is going to walk away with gold here. Chuzagayev, I think, is going to retain the title, and in the last seconds of this bout, he's taken everything. A dangerous fighter like Ivan Erslan has got, and that's the bell.
5 rounds, gentlemen, 5 rounds. And for anybody whistling out there, oh my goodness. You kind of wish you would, those people who whistle, kind of get them in a cage a little bit and give them a little test for their money a little bit, to understand what fighters go through, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was intense. I mean,
that's really intense. I mean,
especially given the kind of power committed in every round, across the round for both guys.
Absolutely. Minus the first round, I think all of us will agree that was kind of lackluster, but these last 4 were absolutely brutal from both sides.
Yep. I agree.
But Chuzagayev ate some shots. Look at Erslan. I mean, any other opponent would have gone down from that. I mean, he's been tested here, but that's a supreme all-round fighter with a unique style.
Yeah.
No one tried to go to the ground. Chuzagayev, just unpredictable. I mean, it's...
The thing is, Erslan said there's holes in this guy's game standing up. He had 25 minutes. He found a couple of openings for sure.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to get the win, in my opinion.
Let's see what the judges have got to say. They've had an easy night tonight, actually, with all the stoppages we've had.
Szanowni Państwo,
So this was a tough
9.
one.
walka
Let's see
gali
what they say.
XTB KSW 77 zakończyła się na pełnym dystansie mistrzowskim. Po 5 rundach sędziowie punktowali 49, 46 Vito Paolino, 49, 45
49, 45.
i
Michał Łępicki,
47
Bartłomiej Czajka for the winner.
jednogłośną decyzję.
Unanimous decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous decision.